starters have been doing just that. Lights out in the past 4 games. They have given up only 2 runs over their last 27 innings pitched, and they have earned wins over division rivals. Big wins. Tonight, Ubaldo Jimenez. He will take the mound and try and perform as the other 4 have for the best through the cycle this season for the O's. It's the Orioles on Masson, and here at home, the Orioles continue an important homestand, picking up the win in Game 1 of the 4 they have against the Jays, and they're ready for Game 2 tonight. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles. Indeed, that starting pitching has been everything that they wanted of late. Now the idea is continue it, not just once or twice through the rotation, but many times for the remainder of the season. The piece right now that is missing is the guy who got the 4-year contract and was brought over maybe to be that 1 or 2 pitcher in the rotation, Ubaldo Jimenez. And where has the problem been? Well, unfortunately for him, right here at home. Take a look at the numbers, home and road. It's like 2 different pitchers. 0-5 at home. The ERA is over 7. Opponent batting average at .265 and 5 home runs allowed. On the road, he's 2-2, 3.43 ERA, which is very good. Opponent batting average considerably less and 3 home runs allowed. Why? Well, I'm going to leave that to Mike Bordick.
Well, you know, those numbers at home, maybe he's putting too much pressure on himself. The big contract, wanting to prove himself in front of the fans. But I tend to not believe that. I think it's just him not being able to repeat his delivery. And it's been a problem with Ubaldo throughout his career. And right now he's run into a tough stretch. He's got 40 walks on the year, 17 walks in his last 4 ball games. And that's really what's hurting him. It's driving his pitch count up. Then when he does throw a strike, hitters are on it. They're able to drive in runs, take advantage of that. You know, Ubaldo does have good stuff. He's had flashes of brilliance this year. He had a great game in Minnesota where he went 7 1/3, just 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. So we know it's there. But it's up to him to try to find that consistent release point, repeat that delivery, because when he does, he can be a dominant pitcher. He did that for Cleveland in the second half of last season. The Orioles are hoping he can lock into that and show that dominance once again.
And if there is such a thing as pressure being on, it is, because the other 4 in the rotation have done well, and there are a couple waiting just outside the starting 5 who would like to be in it. We'll see how he performs tonight as the Jays and the Orioles get set for Game 2. Baseball en masse is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Big 4-game set. The Orioles trying to make it 2 in a row against this Toronto team. It's not only who you play, but when you play them. And how about some sabermetrics? This is about the batting average on balls that are put in play. How many of a batter's balls go for hits, and what's the average on those that are put in play? The Orioles happen to have 3 of the top 20 in Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, and J.J. Hardy. Jim Presley, the hitting coach of the Orioles, what does he think about that number? Well, I can't tell you exactly, but I'll tell you this. He doesn't think it means anything. So I said, Jim, you're not helping me out at all. Nevertheless, those are some of the numbers being used today to indicate how a player is doing, especially those that strike out a lot, don't put the ball in play a lot, but do for a high average. Is that really meaningful? Hey, you're a baseball fan. What do you think of it? For Jones, Markakis, and Hardy, at least, the numbers are good. Charm City Labor Chorus with the 2 national anthems tonight, Canadian and U.S. Overcast skies as we get set. Take a look at our train game time temperature at 77 degrees. Humidity is up and very little breeze right now. Thunderstorms around the area. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. The starting lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays: Reyes, Cabrera, and Bautista, Lind, Encarnacion, Laurie, Francisco Navarro, and Anthony Gose. Another start in center field for him. 13-game hit streak for their leadoff batter.
Yeah, let's take a look at Ubaldo Jimenez's pitch arsenal this season. He used that fastball at 53% of the time, breaking ball 28% of the time, and that changeup 19%. He's looking to get ahead, and then he can go to that split finger change, try to pick up some strikeouts against this Blue Jays offense. There's the numbers from on the year: a couple wins, 5.01 earned run average, the 66 strikeouts, 40 walks though on the year for Jimenez. Opponents hitting .253, lefties at .236. And the righties 268. 8 home runs given up by Jimenez. That has been a problem. The walks, and then he fights to find the zone. Occasional long balls given up. He's looking to get back on track. We talked about him having to repeat his delivery. When he can find that and lock into it, he can have a quality game. He's hoping to do that tonight. Follow suit. The last 4 starts by the Orioles, very good, all quality starts. Norris, Tillman, Shen, and Gausman. Well, they got to pass the baton, and now Jimenez has got to take the lead.
Averaging 5 1/3 innings per start. Those walks Mike were talking about, he leads American League pitchers in walks with 40. And he's ready to go. Here is Reyes, who will lead it off, and we're underway in game 2. Pitch will be taken for a strike. Reyes with the 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Most of these hitters have had significant number of at-bats against Jimenez. That'll be inside. Reyes for 1, 5 for 19 with a home run lifetime off the Orioles starter. In at third base, Manny Machado. Reyes with that great speed deep in the batter's box. Pitch to him will be put up in the air over towards the seats and out of play.
Well, Reyes coming in with a nice little streak, 13-game hitting streak. He's hitting .304 during that span, but not much for production, just 2 extra base hits in the 13 games.
Jimenez ahead on the count here, 1-2, and that'll be lashed foul. Jimenez has retired 63% of leadoff batters this year, not where he would prefer to have it, up around the 70 mark. ERA at 5.01 is well over his career earned run average, which is .398. 1-2, and that will be inside. and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. It's a big start for him. I mean, he knows the importance of these games for him. The Orioles cannot go out and have him winning just a couple of games out of every 10 pitched. I mean, that's just not going to work. 2-2 delivery, and that lash the other way will be foul. And like hitting, hitters say, Mike, it's contagious. The Orioles hoping pitching's contagious.
Well, the Orioles starters have gone on some pretty good runs this season, and Jimenez has been part of that at times. Well, he's looking to follow suit here. We mentioned the 4 last starts, all quality starts by the Orioles rotation. Jimenez has it in him. He's just got to be more aggressive in the strike zone with all of his offerings. When he does get ahead, he does have a couple strikeout pitches that he can use, but try not to waste time.
And boy, Reyes is putting him through the workout process here, as has happened so many times this year with Jimenez on the mound. These 3-2 counts pile up, and they do so early in a game, and that of course pushes his pitch count up and prevents him from going deep in ball games. We're going to see the 9th pitch of this at bat to Reyes. 3-2 delivery, and he walks the leadoff batter.
Well, let's take a look at the defense behind Jimenez tonight, brought to you by Chevrolet. Steve Pearce getting another start over in left field. Jones and Markakis join him. Hardy and Scope up the middle with Machado and Davis on the corners, and Caleb Joseph once again behind the plate.
He'll have to keep an eye on Reyes, who can run. Here is Melky Cabrera coming to the plate. Reyes over there at first base, 14 out of 15, and they have run on Jimenez this year. 9 out of 12 stolen bases against Ubaldo. Pitch to Cabrera will be taken for a strike. Cabrera with a 1-for-3 in the ballgame last night. You see the most hits. He is second in the league.
Altuve leading the way with 90 from Houston. Rios 84. Markakis there as well.
Pitch will just miss. And again tonight, Mike DeMuro is the home plate umpire, and going by past observations, he will tend to have a pretty strictly defined strike zone. It tends to favors the hitters more than pitchers. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Reyes throw over to get him back to the bag. So having to deal with this. Been a long time between wins for Jimenez. Last 6 starts, 3 losses, 3 no decisions. His last win was on May 8 against Tampa Bay. That ball's going to be a base hit left center field. Reyes may try and take third. He will, and he'll get there easily. Throw will come into second base, and the Jays have the first 2 on.
A pretty easy read right there for Reyes. Ball in front of him, but a nice piece of hitting. Stays inside this slider. And taking it the other way, not trying to do too much. And you see the ball tailing away from Adam Jones, taking him into that gap. Reyes sees that and cruises on into third. Jones gets the ball back into second to keep that double play in order.
So the Rays threatening here in the first inning. The most hits Jimenez has given up in a start was against Toronto. It was back on April 13. He lost the game, giving up 5 runs, 10 hits, and 5 1/3 innings. Here's Bautista, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Bautista's only had 2 hits off Jimenez, 2 for 22. Neither of them a home run. First and third, nobody out. Infield will give up the run for the double play. Bautista line drive 1, and that will be it. Jonathan Scope perfectly positioned, and there's the first big out of the inning.
There you go. Get the line drive. Nice try by Scope. Thinks he's going to catch Reyes sleeping over there. Bautista, good fastball, hits his spot, gets inside it. A soft line drive to Scope, and then Scope shows off that cannon he's got at second base.
This has been a real problem of late for the Jays. Over the last 5 games, their runner in scoring position averages 137. On the year, they are tied for 8th at 253, but during the streak where they've not been hitting with runners in scoring position, they're 7 for their last 52. Here is Lynn, the designated hitter, a 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Toronto had a 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position last night. You see first innings.
The 5 earned runs allowed.
Ball will go to third. Machado, they got a shot. Jonathan Scope, and they turn the double play. Boy, there is a huge double play to start this ball game by the team that leads the American League in turning 2. Scoreless beginning of the ball game as Jimenez works his way out of it. Take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You'll find their fares online only at southwest.com. Marquez, Pierce, Jones, Davis, Cruz, and Hardy, Machado, Scope, and Joseph. For Nick, a big June at 333.
Well, let's take a look at Drew Hutchison's pitch arsenal this season. That fastball at 68%. Got a breaking ball 20% in the change. Just a 3-pitch pitcher. That fastball he can get from 91 to 94 miles an hour. A little slider and the change. Take a look at his numbers on the season. 4-4 record, 3.96 earned run average, 67 Ks with 23 walks. Opponents hitting 243, lefties 255, and the righties down to 228. Has given up 10 home runs though.
And Nick Markakis will lead it off against him, with Francisco even with a bag at third for reasons unknown to anybody that though who have filed the reports. We finally saw a team in the Red Sox have backed up at third base on Markakis, but now Francisco will draw back. They try and take the bunt away from him on the first 1 or 2 pitches, but he doesn't bunt. And that is in there for a strike, and the count will go to 0-2.
Now we saw the Red Sox play him a little bit differently, filling up the holes. They had the third baseman in the 5-6 hole, and the shortstop swung around in the middle, and he actually did hit into the shift a couple times.
0-2 delivery will be foul back. Nick's had a 4 for 12 off the 23-year-old right-hander who makes the start in the ball game today. Drew Hutchinson, he is a fly ball pitcher and a pretty pronounced fly ball pitcher. He has the same problems Ubaldo Jimenez has. He's 2 different pitchers. At home, not good. On the road, very good. Foul back. He's got a home record of 1-3, exactly the opposite on the road, 3-1. How about this ERA difference? 8.72 at home, 2.03 on the road. The batting average is exactly 100 points higher at home than it is on the road. And a slow roller that's going to stay fair. And Encarnacion will take it to the bag, and Markakis is retired. I mean, these two guys have numbers that are really unbelievable, Mike. Are deep inside the numbers.
Yeah, largest difference in earned run average this season. Hutchinson leading the way. That home earned run average you were talking about, 8.72, and on the road, 2.03. Biggest difference in the game, 6.69. Vargas on that list, Bumgarner, Skaggs, and Richards as well, but quite a separation for Hutchinson.
Ubaldo Jimenez does not show up in the official stats in those kinds of numbers because he hasn't pitched enough innings. There's a base hit on a shattered bat. Pierce again moved into the number 2 spot because he's hitting. He's got a 5-game hit streak, and that single continues it.
Well, he's locked into his swing right now. Pretty good pitch here, down and away. He reaches out and touches it. Not as hard as we've seen him hit the ball here recently, but gets enough to drive it back through the middle and pick up that base hit.
He's hitting over 430 here at Camden Yards this year and 200 on the road. And I thought Buck Showalter had an interesting comment yesterday. We were talking about the numbers that matters when he makes out a lineup. Buck said the #1 number he looks for is what are the players' numbers in this particular ballpark we're playing in, at home or on the road. He thinks that is more important even than the matchup of hitter-pitcher. Well, if that's the case, Pierce is going to play some ball games at Camden Yards.
Right.
Here's Adam Jones. That one off the handle will go to third. Only play at first. Little flip. Francisco gets it there in time.
Let's take a look at this Blue Jays defense tonight. Cabrera, Ghost, and Batista in the outfield. Reyes and Lowry up the middle. Francisco over at third. Encarnacion at first base. And Navarro once again behind the plate.
So Chris Davis with a runner at second base. Davis hitting .319 with runners in scoring position, .231 overall. He had the 0 for 4 as you see in the ball game last night. The Orioles get a chance. The big shift will be put on with 2 down. Hutchison's delivery, foul back. Orioles had a 2 for 6 last night with runners in scoring position, coming away with a 4-2 win. They out-hit the Jays last night 9-7. Orioles now 34-31. The Jays 39-29, and the Orioles 3.5 behind Toronto. 0-1 delivery. Davis goes into that shift off the lip of the grass. How about that? Lowry makes the play. When we talk about the lip of the grass, it's generally on the inside of the infield, not the outside. No runs on 1 hit and a base runner left on. No score. Cold one to look forward to Miller time later in our ball game, brought to you by Miller Lite. We will remind you often throughout the course of our ball game here on this Friday night that tomorrow's game is a 4 o'clock start. 4 o'clock. We will be on the air 3:30 O's Extra, and then 4 o'clock for the game on Masson HD and WJZ. 4 o'clock for the Saturday game, 1:30 on Sunday. Jimenez will work. Encarnacion will stand in. He had an 0 for last night. Went 0 for 4, and he has not had a hit in his last 12 at bats. Lowry and then Francisco to follow. Right-hander's pitch to him will be bounced off the plate. And 1-1. First strikes matter to Jimenez a lot. If he gets the first strike, hitters go 225 after that. If they don't, it's 280. 1-1 delivery. That'll be at the knees and in for a strike.
Oh, really? The beginning of this ball game is crucial for Jimenez. He's got to prove that he can throw strikes with all of his pitches. Got to show he can throw the breaking ball for a strike and have command of that fastball. And then he's going to get some more chases as the game goes on. and you're going to see some earlier swings. Now, Jimenez has good stuff. Every one of his pitches moves somewhere. His fastball has great two-seam life. Just saw one right there running in on Encarnacion. Good slider. He can bury it at times for swing and miss pitch, and he's got a good split finger as well. Got to prove you can throw strikes, and then you'll get the chases.
Encarnacion will go towards the hole. Hardy deep in the outfield grass. Long throw, and he got it. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park by reserving your Birdland Summer six-pack. You get tickets to 6 games of your choice for the remainder of the year. Savings up to 20% off single-game tickets. Lock in your seats now. Look for the best remaining games and promotions all summer. For details, Orioles.com/six-pack. Lowry up 0 for 2 in the ball game last night. Toronto comes in having lost 3 in a row. They have scored 3 or fewer runs in those games, and in fact 3 or fewer runs in 6 out of the last 7. So this vaunted offense all of a sudden is shut down. Burley last night found out, the starter, pitched a good ball game, but he just couldn't get the runs. Kevin Gausman bested him. Lowry will take the pitch. It'll be outside, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Yeah, this Toronto offense through the month of May was just on fire. Ridiculous offensive numbers, really, to catapult them into the lead of just about every offensive category. Of course, leading in home runs, but they were 21-9 in the month of May, and really carried it into June. They had 5 consecutive wins in June, and then kind of hit a little tough spot here the last week, losing 5 out of 6, and they've all gone cold.
And that's going to miss.
It isn't just 1 or 2 guys.
Go up and down the lineup, and you see some big-time offers going.
Yeah, I was down talking to manager John Gibbons earlier today, and he goes, I can understand guys getting cold, but a whole team getting cold at once?
Fouled away. They've not had a home run in the last 3 ball games, which for them is an eternity. John Gibbons says, we knew we were going to go through this. We couldn't stay as hot as we had been, but as Mike said, we expected we'd have a couple of guys to carry us through a rough spot. Right now, we don't. 3-2 delivery on the way, and he walks him. So the leadoff batter in the first inning, and with 1 down, the walk here in the second. That'll bring up Francisco, making the start at third base. 1 on and 1 down. The Orioles and the double plays have been so important to this ball club this year, for their pitching staff and for their defense. They got a big double play in the first inning last night that turned the game around. Was a 5-3-5 double play. Really changed the whole complexion of the game. They did it again the first inning of this game. Pitch will be taken for a strike.
Yeah, that play last night, that double play, was really one to take the wind out of the Blue Jays' sails. They came in here, a nice road record, actually had a nice little winning streak going on the road, and then trying to be aggressive to get something going. Reyes runs into that double play.
That one hit to center field. Jones turning around, ball carrying, back of the wall. He goes up, goodbye, home run. Francisco delivers one over the 4:10 mark, bringing in Lowry in front of him, and it is an early 2-0 lead for Toronto. Number 11, and RBIs 27 and 28.
When you try to keep this offense down, it's full of power hitters, 5 guys with 10 or more home runs, and he gets a pitch center cut, pulls the hands inside and drives it out into the Orioles bullpen for his 11th of the season.
So that will end the streak for the Jays, their first home run in 4 games. It will also end the streak for the Orioles. They had gone 43 consecutive innings without allowing a home run. They hadn't given up one since Brandon Moss had one on Sunday in the 3rd, which was a grand slam. This is a 2 RBI shot. 1-0 delivery on the way. That will be a strike. Switch hitting Navarro doing the catching. 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. Jimenez, home run number 9 against him. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that will be taken down low. Count is 2-1. The Jays lead the American League with 92 home runs, second in runs, fourth in average in the league. 2-1 pitch the other way, foul. Adam Jones going back to try and catch that, proving that he does have cleats on.
Yeah, he made a great effort. That's right where his spike hit. Cuts that wall. Almost came down with the ball.
It was up and over, and so was he. 2-2 delivery on the way, and a ground ball down to first that is foul. Just went outside the bag.
Well, this is a great pitch here down in the zone, that split finger, and you're going to get chases like that when you get ahead, and he's done that here to Navarro, and swings at a ball that would have ultimately bounced in the dirt. When you prove you can throw strikes in there, you're going to get the chases.
Navarro 2-2 delivery to him. That'll be inside. So another full count. Second full count that Toronto's had. 3-2. And you look at the pitch count, he's already up to 36. That's for 4 outs. Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and walked him. That is the third walk surrendered by Jimenez. And the number 9 hitter will be coming up, playing in center field, Anthony Gose. Colby Rasmus, their regular center fielder, started his rehab last night. Right hamstring problem. He was the DH in the ball game last night, so he's on his way back. Gose had a 1-for-1 in the game, a single. He also had a sacrifice, and that's going to send Joseph out. Another pitch that's going to miss down low for a ball, and here comes Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, as well.
And just trying to get him back in the zone. We'll try to force it in there. I mean, he's a veteran pitcher. He knows, he can probably sense when his mechanics are starting to go awry and maybe just over adjust at times. Pitching coach Dave Wallace has now seen him for 3 months, so he can pick up on some subtle things. Right here, just a breather, no panic here. Continue to pound the bottom of the strike zone, get yourself another ground ball, and get out of this inning.
Runner on at first with 1 out, 2 runs in the second. And Gose will stand back in. Straight away, infield, outfield on the left-handed hitter. Chop to first. Davis, nice pick. There's one. Back to first. Jimenez got him on another double play. So the Orioles turning their second double play of the ball game, and they are big to help shut down what could have been a bigger inning. 2-run homer, Francisco, Toronto up. Astros as you take a look at Nelson Cruz.
Well, Nelson Cruz keeps on improving. What a year he's having. .303 batting average, 21 home runs, and the 55 RBIs. Now, last year, not a bad year, but quite an improvement. Last year, .259, 15 home runs, and 43 RBIs. Nelson Cruz, a major part of this Orioles offense, leading the league in both home runs and RBI.
And the Cruz chant goes up for Nelson. What a number against Toronto. Hutchison ready to go. Cruz is the DH in the ballgame tonight, with Pierce getting the start in left field. And as a DH, he's hitting .337 with 8 homers and 28 RBIs. That is foul back. That's one of the reasons why the Orioles DH numbers continue to be among the top 3 in the American League, and dramatically improved not only over last year but the last few years. Pitch will be taken outside. 1 ball, 2 strike count. The Oriole designated hitters, the numbers from 2011 to 2013, averaged .253. Average this year .305. And in those 3 years, the Orioles only had 61 home runs from the DH position. They already got 11 home runs, just a little over a third of the way through this year. That has been a vast improvement for the Orioles offense. That'll be fouled off the other way. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Cruz. Hardy and Machado to follow. The Orioles, with a victory last night, have actually now moved to a +1 in run differential until that home run was hit by Francisco. Now it's a -1. That'll be foul back. So Toronto continues to be the only team with a plus run differential in the American League East.
Well, it could change right back over here in this inning. This Orioles offense gets going off Hutchins.
Cruz on a check swing, 1 around. Mike DeMiro, the home plate umpire, will make the call. And Hutchison will strike out some people. Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, David Myers from Elkton. You've won $500 for being selected. You get $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play the Orioles scratch off for the Maryland Lottery for your chance to be the contestant of the game. Win a trip to see the O's play at Wrigley or to the World Series. Learn more, mdlottery.com/Orioles. J.J. Hardy will take the pitch for a strike. He had an 0 for 3 last night, which continues his uninteresting season from his point of view against Toronto. He's 1 for 21 off Toronto pitching. That'll be to shallow right, Bautista. 2 down. Talking about strikeouts for Hutchison, he has the 8th best strikeout per 9-inning ratio. He's got 68 strikeouts in 76+ innings pitched this year. Doesn't walk many, 23 free passes. His numbers actually are better than the 4-4 record. You'd think with that 3.96 ERA and the numbers he's put up, might have a little better number on the win side than 500.
He's had some inconsistent starts this season, though, but certainly tough to pick up, and that's why
Machado will go to left field, and that's going to get by Cabrera. He's got to go get it, and Manny Machado will go into second base with a double, the Orioles' second hit.
I was about to say a deceptive cross-body delivery. That's why so many strikeouts, but didn't fool Manny Machado as he picks up his 5th double. Take a look at this. The backup slider hovering over the middle of the plate, and he goes down and gets it. Driving it past Cabrera. Untimely dive there. Manny Machado walks into second base.
So Machado gets into scoring position, and that will bring up Jonathan Scope. Cabrera readjusting out there. Thought he had a shot at it. Jonathan had a 1 for 3 in the ball game last night, and Scope will take it outside for a ball. Each team now with a couple of hits in the ball game. Orioles have had 1 chance with a runner in scoring position, 0 for 1 in that first inning. Scope has been good, as you see, in these situations. He's got a 1 for 4 with a home run off Hutchison. Hutchison this year against the Orioles. He's had a couple of starts back on the 12th here at Camden Yards. He was non-decisioned. He gave up no runs, 4 hits in 6 innings. Had another start on the 24th of April, non-decisioned in that one. 2 runs, 6 hits over 6. So he's had good numbers against the Orioles this year. He had 9 strikeouts in that second start against the Orioles that tied a career high. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Good lead at second base. Scope again fouls it back, 1-2.
Yeah, Orioles ended up winning both of those ball games that Hutchison pitched, but a couple good starts against them this season.
His record 2-2 lifetime against the Orioles. This is his 5th career start against them. 1-2. Jonathan Scope looking for the RBI, and a swing and a foul tip out of the mitt of Navarro, and a stay at the ball and 2 strikes. Yankees, who've been playing out on the West Coast, kind of lose track of clubs out there. They are tied with the Orioles for second place, 3.5 games out. Identical records, 34 and 31. That ball's a looper. That could get in. No. Ghost will come on and put it away. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 2 complete. Game 2 of the 4-game set. Toronto leads. To you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Luna. For a beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. This will be a gorgeous weekend here in the area. A lot of folks around the Inner Harbor and out on the water, and rain or shine, they'll be here for our guys. Jimenez back to the top of the order is Reyes. He drew a walk. First time to the plate, and Reyes will take the pitch for a strike. Reyes against the Orioles this year only hitting 167. His career numbers against the O's much better, a 321 average. 0-1 delivery to him. Reyes trying to punch that one towards the gap. It'll stay up. Pierce. Text Masson's word of the day, pickoff, to 29292 for your chance to win a meet and greet with Chris Davis, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Try the new Moonshine Barbecue. Melky Cabrera base hit his first time up. Cabrera's now got a 5-game hit streak and a couple of hits in 4 at-bats here in the series. Orioles have taken the edge in the series 4-3. O's have won 2 in a row, and on this homestand they are 4-3. Cabrera will go to short. Hardy's right there. 2 down. Special family weekend at Oriole Park continues tomorrow. The first of 2 great new promotions. The first 10,000 fans 14 and under at tomorrow's game at 4:05 will receive an Oriole Bird plush pillow. And on Sunday, the first 20,000 men 18 and over get a Father's Day Orioles fedora. So create some great memories. Have a great family weekend. Tickets 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com. You not gonna say anything? You not gonna say anything?
I got mine. I got my fedora.
I got my fedora. And you look, darling, you look marvelous. Bautista takes it 2-0.
Take a look at the highest on base percentage this season. Bautista leading the way with that .432. Chu, Fowler, Napoli, and Cano on that list. But what a well-rounded offensive player Bautista has become.
Down to third. Machado, can you do this? That arm. Oh! Mercy. Another fine defensive play. Boy, the defense here in the first 3 innings of this ball game really coming through for Jimenez. Got to make the turn, find the mark, and with that tremendous arm, he is right on the button. Striking out Brian Downing to complete a 6-hit shutout against the Angels. It helped the Orioles to win the game by a score of 8-0 and clinch their first American League pennant since '71. McGregor was 3-3 in his career in the postseason. 3 complete games, 2 of which happened to be shutouts, and a 1.63 ERA. Hutchison back to work here. Caleb Joseph leading it off.
Caleb Joseph picked up a hit and an RBI in last night's ball game and continues to work behind the plate. And he's been impressive, calling some real good games and recently getting the most out of the staff. Asked him last night while Matt Wieters is on the shelf. Caleb Joseph getting a lot of work. Wow, that one just took off up and in.
And you could hear that up here.
Caleb staying in there. Jeez. Take a look, just taking off. Oh my gosh.
Where it hit. Second hit batter by Hutchison, but that's where you can have some damage done. He's doing some pretty good pulling right there.
Hit on the top of the knuckles. Jeez, on the knuckles, and then it catches him on the shoulder. Hey.
Chibancel's trainer taking a long look, making sure he'll know better when he tries to grip a baseball to throw. Huntley, the backup catcher, just loosening up just in case. So he will stay in the ball game. Caleb Joseph goes down to first base, hit by a pitch. You can bet, well, he may have been hurting. What he was thinking was, I didn't spend 6 years in the minors to come out of a ball game. That is the way he thinks. That will be fouled off the other way by Markakis. Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the third inning. Boy, that one just sounded bad.
Yeah, it did.
We'll see as we go along, which reminds me, we were watching the ball game last night. Kevin Gausman get hit on a shot back through the middle off the hip. He said today that he was fine, felt fine. He's got a bruise there. It's not that it's not sore, but he's all right. So good news for the Orioles. He stayed on and appeared unaffected for the remainder of the game that he pitched.
Yeah, that was a scary one. Right back through the middle. Got him on the backside. Fortunately for him, probably the meatiest part of his body.
1-1 delivery on the way and a ground ball towards second base. Lowry not hit hard. There's one relay. Oh my, that's a nice play. He had to get out of the way of Joseph, who was coming into him, and he turns the double play.
Well, it was a pretty good play all the way around. Caleb Joseph was in big league camp, and Buck Showalter talks about this all the time. Just slide in and try to break up the double play, invite the tag, and that's what Caleb did. But a pretty athletic tag and throw there by second baseman Lowry.
That's the only chance Lowry has to get a double play. If he goes to second, there's not going to be time to get the runner at first. So they'll take a look at Caleb Joseph again on that hand where he got hit. 2 down, nobody on. Double plays galore here in this ball game. The Orioles have turned a couple, and first one for Toronto. We're only in the third inning. Pierce had a base hit his first time up. 5-game hit streak for the left fielder, and the pitch will be taken outside for a ball. He's now had 7 hits in his last 14 at bats. They of course are extended out over periods of time. Sometimes as an outfielder, sometimes a DH, sometimes pinch hitting. That one in the air to right center. They weren't playing him there, but that ball stays up. And comes over to put it away. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 3 complete. Toronto, they're up on the Francisco 2-run home. The plate, he's already taken a couple of tosses. More importantly, he's tossed back 3 times now.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, taking one right off the top of the knuckles there. to be able to stay in the ball game. But we know how tough Caleb Joseph is. He took one off the side of the knee down in Texas, and he could not even walk the next day. He could hardly bend his leg and ended up starting that night. So tough kid. A lot of adrenaline going right there for him, and he does not want to leave a big league game.
But Showalter asked him before that game, "You okay?" "I'm fine."
Yeah,
I'm fine. And he was. So he'll stay in a 2-0 ball game as we go to the 4th inning. 2-2-0 for the Jays, 0-2-0 for the Orioles. Jimenez working to Lynn, and the pitch taken for a ball. Lynn, I got to look this up. How many first pitches has he swung at this year? He has his bat on his shoulder. He never, it seems like, even moves the bat. He stands there in the first pitch. It doesn't matter if it's 90 miles an hour right down the middle of the plate. He just stands there and watches it go by. 1-1 count on him. Hit into a double play his first time up. He's 4 for 14 lifetime off Jimenez. 1-1's going to be outside to him, 2-1. He would not be the first hitter to take that approach. There have been many who just refuse to swing at a first pitch. They just don't feel comfortable doing it. They want to see one. 2-1 delivery, goes after that one, and that fell off the table on him. 2-2.
And just when you think they're taken, though, late in the ball game, they'll
exactly
jump on one.
Yeah. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Jimenez 3 walks, no strikeouts. Hutchison has no walks and 1 strikeout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Encarnacion, Lowry due up. Lynn, who's always been tough on the Orioles, .296 career hitter against the O's. 3-2 delivery to him up the middle. Nice snare. Jimenez makes the play.
Nice job by Jimenez, really kind of settling in here. Real good 3rd inning. Works his way back to get Lynn there. Nice job fielding his position.
Here's Encarnacion, and the delivery to him would be taken down low for a ball. He grounded out his first time up, extending his 0 for 2 and 0 for his last 13. 1-0 delivery. Jimenez gets it in, and it will be fouled off. Jimenez trying to get that pitch count down. 29 pitches, 2nd inning, 3 in the 6th. Foul back, and 16 in the 1st. So kind of been all over the place here early on pitch counts and innings.
Well, he was real successful in that 3rd inning. Just all strikes, aggressive. Here you go. Put the ball in play. Let the defense work. Of course, Machado with the great play at third base to end that inning.
1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be inside. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Encarnacion up there among the leaders in all kinds of categories. He's chasing Nelson Cruz. Cruz with 21 home runs. He's got 20. Cruz 55 RBIs. He's got 54. There goes the bat. Wow. And our World Cup contestant has just taken over first place. Distance not good as far as where it landed, but as far as total distance, that's a winner, and everybody looks to be okay. That ended up in the seats.
A great pitch by Jimenez. Nasty split finger, bottom of the zone, and it's Encarnacion to just lose the grip of the bat.
First strikeout for Jimenez in the game. Did that go between his legs? I swear. I think that went between his legs.
They have. Joseph setting up in.
No, well, went underneath the back foot. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled back. Lowry had a walk, scored in the 2nd on the home run by Francisco, his 11th, which accounts for the 2 runs on the board.
And one thing we talked with Caleb Joseph about in last night's ball game was the ability of the starting rotation to really pitch in effectively. And even if you're throwing balls in off the plate, you're getting the hitter's attention, you're making him conscious of that inside corner, and it can really benefit you as a pitcher to open up the outer third. And I've seen the pitchers have so much success here recently. Caleb Joseph, a big part of that.
Went outside and missed. Lowry hitting .250 in the month, 3 home runs so far in June for him. Has power. And those big cuts, he will put some strikeouts up. 2-2 delivery on the way. In the air, not deep, right center. Scope, Markakis, and it will be the second baseman putting it away. So another 1-2-3 inning. He's retired the side in order in both the third and fourth. .240 average, 73 left on base, 21st in the majors with that runner in scoring position number. Their offense struggling. The Yankees, Sabathia throwing on flat ground, may get to the mound next week, but going to be a while before he gets back. Paredes also is shut down, and Carlos Beltran, he is back. He'd been resting a bad elbow. For Alex Cobb, Tampa Bay, he'll start tonight against Houston. The last 3 starts, 16 runs and 15 in a third innings, and look at that 358 opponent batting average going on around the American League East.
They were kind of hoping there in Tampa that Cobb, when he came back, helped kind of revitalize that rotation, but hasn't been able to settle in just yet.
Adam Jones will lead it off against Hutchison, and the pitch will be inside. Jones grounded out his first time up. Caleb Joseph explaining to Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, how he took that ball off the hand when he got hit.
Yeah, he got hit in about 3 spots. The ball ricocheted off his knuckles and then hit him up in the shoulder. Might even caught his helmet, knocked that off.
And he's in the game. Adam with a .296 average continues to lead the American League in infield hits. He's got 16, so when he squares around to bunt, he means it. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that will be popped back. Our Jeep inside the numbers.
Take a look at this. Most home runs versus any opponent. Well, it's the Orioles versus Toronto, 41. Of course, a big part of that, the numbers that Adam Jones and Chris Davis have put up against this Blue Jays team. But the Dodgers, 41 against Arizona. Nationals, big numbers against the Mets. Pirates against Cincinnati, 38. And the Athletics, big number against Seattle, 38.
2-1 delivery down to third base. No signal. Fair ball. Jones is on. Long time, a delayed call because it was so close to the bag. Both Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, and Jerry Lane, the third base umpire, are waiting for the other to make a call. It's not the base umpire's call till it goes by the bag.
It's scraping that line. Comes up to make the play, but another infield hit there by Adam Jones. Just a great combination of speed and power from Jones, sniffing out that base hit.
So he adds to that #1 total with 17 infield hits. And the Orioles get the leadoff man on. Had the leadoff man on in the third when Caleb Joseph was hit by a pitch, but a double play wiped that out. Now Chris Davis. Davis grounded out his first time up. He's 2 for 9 lifetime off Hutchison. Shift is on. Lowry stays a little closer at second base, though, with a chance for a double play. And Davis on the big cut. Chris Davis among the top 10 now in strikeouts in the American League. He just moved into that category he'll like to drop out of. He's 9th with the 66 strikeouts. And he's bunting and not well. Fouled it way back into the seats. And a 2-strike count.
Well, he put down a bunt the other night, his first bunt in his career, bunt for a base hit. And here just a little bit too much movement. The other night he took his time, really set it down. Looked like trying to get out of the box a little too quickly there.
Now a 2-strike count. Jones being held at first. Base stealers have done well against Hutchinson as they have against Jimenez. 11 out of 13 successful. 0-2 count. This is where that shift can make a double play attempt really tough. With Lowry back where he is at second, it's going to take a long time for the ball to get there, and he's got a long throw to second base.
It sure does. I mean, and Chris Davis flies down that first base line. Both he and Jones very aggressive on the bases. I'll tell you what, if Lowry gets a ground ball, Reyes has got to watch out at second base because Jones goes in there after the pivot man as hard as anybody in the game right now. And yeah, there's just too much different distance. Unless Chris Davis hits a line drive one hopper right at Lowry, they're going to have trouble turning the double play.
He hit that one hopper to Lowry his first time up. Hit the lip of the outfield grass on the back side. Navarro stopping that last one. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Hutchinson's delivered to Davis, and that's way outside. And a full count, 3-2 with nobody out. Well, the Orioles trying to get an inning going.
You see the pitch track, just everything away. Trying to give Chris Davis a chance to get the barrel on it.
3-ball, 2-strike count. See if Jones goes. He does. Davis will foul it back. So Adam Jones was off from first base on the 3-2 with nobody out.
And Chris Davis got a pitch to hit. 3-2 fastball about center cut. Adam Jones with a good jump down there. Now talk about the success rate, stolen bases against Hutchinson. He isn't very fast to the plate, so there are opportunities there to get yourself in scoring position.
7th pitch of the at bat coming to Davis. 3-2, runner goes again and fouled away again. Hutchinson wasn't even looking. Jones was running almost before he moved out of the stretch.
Yeah, he just came set and fired. Jones off and running. He's a young pitcher, just 23 years old. So controlling the running game will definitely be something that he's going to be working on, as he matures as a pitcher and understands what goes on behind him. Just varying his times, his holds, occasional picks.
And that's where the sign came from the bench through the catcher to him. Throw over to first. As Jones just had way too big a lead that last time. Former catcher John Gibbons, the manager. 3-2. Jones not going, and that one will be fouled back. A hefty at bat here as far as number of pitches. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Jones went on the first 2, 3-2, not on the last one.
Well, after being pitched really tough to work the count to 3-2, he's had a couple fastballs to hit, left over the middle away on the plate, just missing them.
Here's the 3-2. Runner goes. Then a ground ball down to first. Dropped. And he'll just go to the bag. And Canaccio will get the out there, and Jones will go down to second base with one away. Latest voting in for the All-Star game. Several lows near the top. Nelson Cruz, Matt Wieters are two of them. Adam Jones closing in for an outfield spot. Hardy, Davis, Machado, Markakis all close as well. You can vote. Orioles.com/vote-orange. You can earn ticket discounts, a chance to win an autographed All-Star game jersey, and you can vote up to 35 times. Go to Orioles.com/vote-orange. Nelson Cruz, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Orioles get their third chance with a runner in scoring position. 0 for 2 so far. Jones with speed off second. Cruz down the line and into the seats, foul. Hutchison with runners in scoring position. Opponents hitting .254 against him this year.
Cruz, good numbers on the year with runners in scoring position. You saw that stat at .317.
Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. That'll be outside. Navarro gloves it.
I'll take a look at the highest career slugging percentage versus Toronto all time. Chris Davis up there on top at .662, but right behind him, Nelson Cruz, .624 slugging percentage. Monster numbers against this Blue Jays team. Gonzalez, Stairs, Easler, and Teixeira on the list as well.
Orioles trail by a score of 2-0. Home run Juan Francisco in the second inning off Jimenez. The only runs up there. Orioles have 3 hits, the Jays 2. And Cruz looking for an RBI. 1-1. Lashed the other way again and foul. So the count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. Jones edging off, looking back at Lowry, who's trying to hold him close. Hutchison has been turning around, at least acknowledging his presence there. 1-2 delivery on the way, and Cruz will take it up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We talked about Hutchinson, you know, that cross-body delivery to add some deception, but boy, at times you can see a little extra on his fastball. At the end, some late life in the zone. Chris Davis had a couple fastballs that he just fouled off. Nelson Cruz just missing one there.
And he's going to go full again. So a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Cruz with Hardy waiting on deck. Hutchison, a 15th round pick in 2009 by the Jays. He's out of Lakeland, Florida. Born, raised, and continues to live there. Only had 56 major league games prior to this year. 3-2 delivery. Cruz will go to short. Runner going. Reyes is going to go for him, and Jones is out. Francisco. Jones going even though the ball was in front of him, and records the out at third base.
Adam Jones, usually a great base runner, a little over aggressive here. Ball right in front of him. Reyes wastes no time. The snap throw on the third to gun down Jones.
So it'll be a fielder's choice, and instead of a runner at second with 2 down, it's a runner at first with 2 away. Hardy flied out to right field his first time up. Since he won't be swinging at the first pitch, I'll start this story. We were talking about Lind. Now he never swings at a first pitch. Lind is 7th in the league at not swinging at first pitches. Only 11% of first pitches does he swing at. You know who's number 1? Yep, J.J. Hardy. J.J. Hardy swings at first pitches only 5.6% of the time. Hardy will take it for a strike. The list is Hardy, Kurt Suzuki, Dustin Pedroia, Alex Rios, Marcus Semien, Brian Dozier, and Adam Lind. So 2 of the top 7 who take that first pitch. There they are, Lind and Hardy.
JJ's had a nice offensive year as far as average going, hovering around 300 most of the time. A little dip here recently, but he's had some quality at bats. See the numbers, 281. Still in search of that first home run. I think once one comes, I think you're going to see a bunch come pretty quick. 1
ball, 2-strike count. Cruz The very short lead at first base. Hutchison's delivery to him. Pulled back a little bit on that one. I guess you can afford to take first pitches when you have this kind of a number with 2 strikes.
Yeah, most 2 strikes hits. J.J. Hardy right there, up there, number 2 behind Victor Martinez. Martinez with 40, Hardy with 38, Goldschmidt 37, and look, Nick Markakis on the list as well. A couple nice offensive approaches with 2 strikes.
1-2, 2 down. Hardy stopped. They will check it first. Mike Estabrook, though, he didn't go around. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now, one thing about that, you put those kind of numbers up with 2 strikes, you have confidence to run the count deep. There are a lot of hitters that are scared to get to 2 strikes, so you see them hacking early. Those hitters trust themselves.
2-2, and there's another one. He adds to his lead with 2 strike hits right up the middle. Ball will get away at third, but backed up. So Hardy is on with a single, and the Orioles first and second, 2 down.
A nice sound approach here. Hutchison wants that ball out in the outer third, but it stays over the middle, and he hammers it right back where it came from.
So while you can never say Hardy would have had that base hit if Jones was out there at second, hadn't been thrown out at third, you don't know that, you never do, but it would have been a nice option for the Orioles to have a runner in scoring position right there. 2 on and 2 down. Manny Machado picked up a double his first time up. Manny hitting over 330 against the Jays this season. And the pitch to him will be taken down low for a ball. Machado 294 with runners in scoring position. Orioles looking for their first hit in this, their 4th chance in these situations.
Well, Manny's been putting some good swings on the baseball. Hasn't had a lot to show for it here this past week, but picked up a nice double to right field last night. The double in this ball game. He's getting the good part of the bat on the baseball.
1 ball, 1 strike count.
See that pitch count this inning, 27. That's a big amount there for a pitcher to labor through, and that will have an effect on him as this game goes on.
1 ball, 1 strike count of Machado. Runners off first and second. Pitches on the outside corner for a strike. Hutchinson's had his shortest non-injury start of his career. In the last outing against St. Louis, he only went 3 innings. Gave up 5 runs on 6 hits in that ball game. It was a 5-0 win for the Cardinals. There's a chopper. That could be a problem. Base hit. Manny Machado, Francisco hanging on to it, and the bases are loaded. Second Orioles infield hit of the inning.
Well, you do what you can to battle. And that's what Manny Machado did there. 2 strikes on him. A tough pitch, and he goes down and gets it. Beats it off the front of the plate, and Francisco coming up with it, but a wise decision to hold that ball. Manny Machado picking up the base hit and some pressure on. Pitching coach Pete Walker out to give Hutchinson a visit.
Probably giving him a little rest here with all the pitches thrown in the inning. As a quick word, Jonathan Scope will be coming to the plate with 2 down and the bases loaded, and the Orioles down 2-0. And Scope will get another shot at it with the sacks full. Orioles hitting .333 with the bases loaded as a team this year. Scope has had a couple of chances in this homestand with the sacks full. And he'll foul that one off the catcher, Navarro, who goes down.
Well, it's not too often you see catchers rolling around in pain like that. Tough group of guys back there. You see the slider working its way outside. Scopey fouling it off the end and catching it right off the top of the foot. There is a little pad there, but there's not much.
You will get empathy from your manager when he too is a catcher, and John Gibbons has been there.
Yeah, you probably tell him to tape an aspirin to
Exactly. Exactly. Didn't say what kind of empathy you'd get. So Navarro regrouping. Joseph understands. He's taken one off the hand, hit by a pitch earlier. Scope is 0 for 4 with the bases loaded this year. 0-1 count, 2 down. Cruz, Hardy, Machado, the base runners. And that one down low. Navarro has to stop it. 1 ball and 1 strike. These two teams have played games so close so far. There's very little difference. Orioles averaging 4.9 runs in the games against Toronto. Toronto 5.1. They've been tight, and this looks like another one. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Scope will put it in the air. Maybe not so tight anymore. Back center field. Yep. Ghost is there to haul it in. So Jonathan Scope gives it a ride, but not quite. No runs, 3 hits, no errors. 3 are left on base. Jays 2-0. Up the list of the all-time hits for the Orioles, and our Antwerpen Toyota quote of the day comes from the skipper trying to describe Nick Markakis.
You know, when you're using words to describe Nick, you know, just a dependable, consistent guy in more ways than one. And I think the numbers that he's accumulating are just a byproduct of, you know, just the way he plays the game, the way he lives his life.
And that's our Antwerpen Toyota quote of the day. Visit their new facility, Route 32 in Clarksville. Pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Francisco. All month they'll beat any competing offer in your trade-in. Hurry in today. He has given the Toronto the 2-0 lead. His 11th home run came in the 2nd inning. Lowry scored ahead of him. He had been walked. And that has been it scoring-wise. 2-2-0 for the Jays and 0-5-0 for the O's.
Now Baldo really settling in the last couple of innings. He's been aggressive, throwing strikes with all of his pitches, command of his off-speed pitch.
8 in a row retired if you count that double play that ended the 2nd inning. Bottom third of the order up for the Jays. 2-1 delivery and a foul off the other side. Francisco getting playing time at third base. Lowry is usually there. Has moved over to second in order to get Francisco's bat into the lineup. 2-2 delivery to him, jammed him and fouled it straight back.
Riding the fastball up in the zone. Get those chases. And you prove you can throw some strikes. Take a look here. 90 miles an hour right at the top of the strike zone. Almost got the swing through.
Against the East this year for Jimenez, he has won 1 and lost 3 against the American League East. ERA is 5.7 against the East with a .315 batting average. 3-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss, and he gets him this time. That's strikeout number 2.
A beautiful slider here. It's holding itself on the plate, and then look at the late bite dropping down and in to get Francisco. He sees it good, and then it just disappears. Beautiful pitch. This is what you want, and this is what you mean by the depth. Talk about his delivery and how at times really inconsistent. Well, he finds the release point there. Comes up with a big first out.
That will bring Navarro up. He has drawn a walk. 1 for 5 off Jimenez. Up the middle, and another snag. Second one right back to the box that he is hauled in. And there are 2 down. Maryland residents with a valid driver's license can now visit Orioles.com/plates to bid on license plate numbers 2000 through 2014. Bidding for these special numbers closes midnight Sunday. Proceeds benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. So celebrate a special year in your life. Find a license plate to match. Just go to Orioles.com/plates. 2 away, nobody on. Here's Ghost. He hit into a double play. And we'll take the pitch for a strike. First inning ended on Lynn on a 5-4-3 double play. Second inning on a 3-6-3 double play. And nobody's gotten on since. Floats outside with it, 1-1.
Well, that second inning had the makings of being potentially a big ugly inning after that 2-run home run, and then another base on ball, but huge double play. We talked about the Orioles being so good, turning the double play, best in all of baseball with the 81 this season.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that's down the line, and that will be a foul ball. So it will stay at 1 ball and 2 strikes. On Ghost with 2 down and nobody on. Orioles defense really helping out their starting pitcher, and he's helped himself out on those 2 that have come back through the middle. 1-2 delivery down low. Big crowd on hand tonight for game 2. Fireworks will be going on after the ball game here at Camden Yards. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock for game 3. 2-2 delivery and a check swing. Down to third, and no, says Jerry Lane.
Doubling up with the split finger here. Ghost wanting it, but recognizes it just in time to hold up.
Here's the 3-2 delivery. And another one fouled away. 4th 3-2 count Jimenez has had in the ball game. Orioles will send Bud Norris to the mound against the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey tomorrow. Sunday, Chris Tillman and J.A. Happ. And the 3-2 again, and Milwaukee. The Ghost is on. That is the 4th walk surrendered. And it's now time for all fans to tweet their photo using hashtag #MassonFanPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Runner on with 2 away for Reyes at the top of the order. He has walked and flied to left field. Machado just on the grass at third. Throw over to get Anthony Ghost back to the bag.
Now these are pressure situations for a defense. Speed at the plate, speed at first base. Reyes can handle the bat pretty well.
There goes Ghost. Pitch out. Had it called. Joseph throws right there, and he got him. Well, he continues to get it done. 41% throwing out base stealers. Hit on the back of the hand in the 3rd inning. Looked like he might have to come out. Stays in. And when he gets a chance to throw out a runner, He does. PNC Bank for the achiever in you. By Just for Men, mustache and beard, champions of facial hair. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. We are the champions of facial hair. And the pitch will be popped up by Caleb Joseph. And it will be handled. Encarnacion getting it, a pitch and an out here in the 5th inning. Markakis and Pierce coming up. With the victory in the ball game last night, the Orioles now even at home. They are 15-15. They have won 8 of their last 12. First time they've bid 500 here at home since May 13. John Gibbons Ball Club on the road, 19-12, showing bunt. That'll be taken up high. Nick Markakis.
They're trying to keep the third baseman there. Suck him in, and so good at hitting the ball to left field. Sees the big hole over there.
Strike taken, upper part of the strike zone. Markakis has grounded out a couple of times in the ball game. Now 4 for 14 lifetime off Hutchison. And that will be fouled back and out of play. Boy, we have really seen in this homestand the pitching for both the Orioles and opponents come to the fore. These ball games have been like this. A couple of runs get scored and then the pitchers take over. Offenses get shut down. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he'll go back up and get him.
Navarro wants the fastball up in the zone, and Hutchinson hits the spot. And look at that late life, 92 miles an hour to get Nick Markakis. Just underneath it. Can't quite get on top of the fastball.
2 strikeouts, no walks for Hutchison. Here's Pierce. A base hit, and he is flied out. Upping his average to .319 on the year. And a good breaking ball down and away.
One of his better ones right there. Better tilt.
Here's the 0-1 delivery, and Pierce will foul that one away. Hutchison, 9 wins, 7 losses in his young career. As we said, only 23 years old. Another one of the reasons why they've been so hoping their young pitchers come through. They've got people like Hutchison available to them the last couple of years. That'll be bounced, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. Now they're wondering in Toronto, is this the year where with all that power and home runs we can put up, are we going to get the pitching to go with it?
Well, this rotation was just devastated with injuries last year. So many guys going down. Actually, Hutchinson the year before had Tommy John surgery, so a year removed from that. He's pitching well, and such a young pitcher. You saw he took a look at the pitching coach Pete Walker, a big league experience, so a lot of good people to learn from on this staff and on the coaching staff.
Another foul ball off the bat of Steve Pearce. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pearce sitting in the number 2 spot with Manny Machado having a bit of a struggle going at the plate. But Showalter's moved Young into there last night. Pearce there tonight. Puts it up in the air, right center field. Ghost is going back, and he will put it away. So a 1-2-3 inning. We completed 5, and it's still a 2-0 Jays lead. Through this ball game, going to the 6th, Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick, and they have been the kind of games of late, Mike, where you just cannot afford to make a mistake if you're on the mound.
Yeah, you really can't, and it's nice to see Ubaldo Jimenez settling into this game, but both sides offensively, so many dangerous hitters. One pitch, one mistake, and really could turn this game around for both teams.
But boy, he really did settle in. First two, second inning looked tough.
Yeah, it did. You know, the command wasn't there early on, helped out by his defense, a couple early ground ball double plays, but last few innings, good command of all of his pitches, and he's really kind of mowing through this Blue Jays lineup.
And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Just didn't think so. He just walked and flied out. Reyes on a check swing. Looked like he held up, and he did. 11 out of 20 first pitch strikes for Jimenez, and you know that picked up from the 3rd inning on. Once he started getting ahead of the hitters, as with most pitchers, much better results. Shodbunt takes the pitch up high, and the count will go to 2-1. Reyes an igniter. He's ready to play and is out there performing. He can really do things in the field and at the plate that get things going for a ball club. In the air to center field. Jones. Run away here in the 6th. The Orioles thank the 2014 American Heart Association Baltimore Heart Ball signature sponsor Sinai Hospital, a LifeBridge Health Center whose support for the event helped raise $700,000 to help fight heart disease. For information on how you can help fight or contribute, go to Orioles.com/AHA. 77-degree night. Summer's moved in, and a great night for baseball, and should be a spectacular weekend weather-wise. Pitch is in there for a strike. Cabrera's got a single, and he is grounded out.
And the slow breaking ball, a little get me over curve there to get ahead. Good pitch.
Cabrera, and one breaking away, is quickly behind on the count. 0-2.
I like to see that on command of secondary pitches to get ahead. Good try, trying to sneak that fastball on the outside corner.
Cabrera, one of the better hitters on the road in the league at .331, sixth best average in road games. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him, and he stays off it. And it will just miss again. Couple of close pitches he takes. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you know he's seeing the ball well to lay off that one. A beautiful slider, great location.
That one's going to go to center. Jones, atom ball. 2 down. Our PNC minor league report is brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you.
Alexi Casilla, last 16 games been red hot down in AAA Norfolk. 368, 8 RBI, 10 runs, and 4 base on balls. A great season down there as well. Right around 300 home run, the 15 RBIs, with 7 stolen bases in his 36 games. He actually might be one of the infielders Buck Showalter's thinking about when Manny Machado has to serve his suspension. Having a good year.
Bautista with a 1-strike count. He is grounded out, lined out. That'll be bounced. There was no further update. The appeal of the 5-game suspension by Manny Machado continues to await a hearing date, which I think the Orioles know but have not announced. That was the implication. Buck Showalter kept wanting to say something, then said no. I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that. So I think they've got a date for when they're going to hear the case, the New York people, and then make a decision. Or Manny dropped the appeal. 1-2 delivery on the way, although it would seem there'd be no reason to drop the appeal. A 5-game suspension, you got a shot at getting it reduced to 3 or 4. 2 ball, 2-strike count. And Bautista will foul it back. Bautista's been held down by the Orioles here in this ballpark. He only has a 175 batting average in all the games he's played here at Camden Yards. He does, however, have 9 of his 18 home runs against the Orioles here. And that pitch will be taken. So the count will go to 3-2. 5th full count of the ball game for Jimenez. And the 3-2 delivery, and Bautista will take it, and he's on with the 5th walk. Surrendered by Jimenez in the game. Comes with 2 down. Jimenez gave up 5 walks in the last outing to Oakland. He has given up 5 walks in a ball game now 4 times this year. That is his high in walks allowed on the season. Career high is 6. 2 down. Here is Lind, and into a double play. Grounded out. There you go. He swung at a first pitch.
Setting him up this part of the ball game. He doesn't know how much longer Jimenez is going to be in there. He's been statuing him early, and he's seen that Jimenez is getting ahead here in the middle part. So he takes a shot, over aggressive, up and out of the zone.
It'll be only the 7th time in 149 plate appearances that he has gone after that first pitch. 0-1 count, 2 down. Runner off first base. And that will be down the line the other way and into the seats, foul. Bautista will head back over to first. He's been a very good road hitter. Lind has, hitting .370 in the road this year. Big number. He does not show up among the qualifiers. Doesn't have the number of at-bats. 0-2. Jimenez delivers to him, and another one punched straight back.
Good try right there with the fastball, riding it up and in. Tommy Hunter warming up in the Orioles bullpen.
97 pitches thrown by Jimenez. 0-2 count. That one towards right. Markakis looking. It's going to hit midway up the wall. Bautista will come to third. He will stay there as the relay throw comes in to Jonathan Scope. So Lynn, halfway up the wall and right, gets a base hit. Hit so hard, though, Bautista had no chance to score.
Yeah, not a terrible pitch, a slider, and you see him reaching out to get it. Able to get the bat head on. It kicks off the right field wall. Markakis there playing it perfectly once again. Holds runners at the corners.
And that will bring up Encarnacion. Bautista at third base. Lead runner. Lind at first. That is the first hit off Jimenez since the second inning. And the last hit was the home run by Francisco. The other one a single in the first by Melky Cabrera. Up to 98. Toronto 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position in the ball game. 1 for 6 so far in the 2 games. The delivery on the way. You saw crew chief Jerry Lane talking with Manny Machado over there at third. They've had an ongoing conversation. Bautista's joined in it. Pretty good three-way discussion going on over there. 1-0 count. There are 2 down. Bing at bat. Entire right side is open. In the infield, Encarnacion takes it for a strike. Didn't like it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he didn't like it at all. Of course, he's geared up to hit, looking for something up in the zone. This one down. Caleb Joseph receives it well, able to get the call there.
Encarnacion hitting only 200 in the month of June. Takes the cut on that one. Jones coming over. Markakis, Jones, and Jones will put it away. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 are left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Jays. Silver anniversary at Yankee Stadium, and it was Babe Ruth Day. They retired his number. It was sent to Cooperstown. Babe was ailing at the time. Almost 50,000 there for that day. And in 1930, first time in baseball history that former batting champions were exchanged for one another. Washington traded Goose Goslin to the Browns for Heine Manush. They would both make it to the Hall of Fame. There you see for Heidi Manush, a tremendous .378 average in 1926, won the title. He would lose another batting title to the person he got traded for, Goose Goslin, later on. He is a Hall of Famer because of a big bat. 17-year career, .330 average, lifetime, and did play for the Senators, among other teams, from 1930 to 1935. Heidi Manush, and a strike on the inside corner. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jones, leading it off for the Orioles, has a base hit, infield variety, and he's grounded out.
See Hutchinson kind of settling in too. 79 pitches to this point. Had the one rough inning back in the 4th. A quick 5th inning.
He's got one complete game shutout this year against Texas. 0-2 delivery will go off the side of the mound. Lowry's got it, makes the play, and Jones. 1 out, 6th inning. Say, if you still need a gift for Dad, MLB.com @bat app and a subscription to its premium features for his smartphone or tablet would be a great Dad's Day gift. You can also have access to look-ins on games, instant replay, live audio, free MLB TV game of the day, and more. Go to MLB.com.
Yeah, Baldo and pitching coach Dave Wallace. Looks like Dave Wallace kind of feeling him out here. Maybe talking about pitch selection. Some of the hitters. Split finger. Go get it.
Bullpen still active for the Orioles. Davis 0 for 2, couple of ground ball outs. Shift on, of course, the 0-1 delivery, and it will be taken outside. Hutchinson with a 4-4 record, 3.96 ERA coming in. Non-decision twice against the Orioles this year. Owns a 1-0 mark against the O's. And right now, in the baffling Oriole hitters. Orioles have left 5 on base, and 4 of those have been in scoring position. Davis is gone, 3 Ks.
Well, he's mixed up fastball and changeup to Chris Davis. A real good changeup on the pitch before, and here just elevating the fastball. See it kind of having that rise effect, the late life, to get Davis on the swing.
2 down, nobody on. That'll bring up Nelson Cruz. He has hit into a fielder's choice and struck out. Orioles DH for the night. Hutchinson's delivery to him, and that'll be fouled back. For Cruz in the month of June. Trying to find the home run ball again. He's had 1. That one high, playable, Bautista. And he's got it. And Hutchinson goes through the inning and retires the side in order. 6 complete Friday night at the Park.
jam, but a nice pitch to Adam Lynn. Machado to Scope onto Davis, another Oriole double play. A fastball to Juan Francisco gets hit into the Orioles bullpen. Blue Jays take a 2-run lead. There's an opportunity, though, for the O's offense. Hutchinson makes a pitch on Scope. It's a deep drive. The Ghost runs it down. Hutchinson out of the jam. Pretty good pitching performance here. Hutchinson 6 innings, 5 hits, nothing on the board for runs. Jimenez working his way through 6 innings, 3 hits, couple earned runs, that 2-run home run. Remember, Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And that will be the final line for Jimenez, as it'll be Hunter coming on. This pitching change should be quick, just like a Jiffy Lube signature service oil change. At Jiffy Lube, they get you in and out fast, and you never need an appointment.
Take a look at Tommy's numbers on the year. 20 games at 1-1 record, 5.71 earned run average. Looking to bring that down. 15 strikeouts, 5 walks in his 17 1/3 innings of work. Of course, started the season as the closer. Had an injury. Come back last time out, throwing some cheese.
Ball hit in the air by Laurie to center. Adam Jones is there and puts it away. 0 for 2 and a walk and a run scored for Laurie in the game. 1 down, 7th inning. That'll bring Francisco to the plate. He's done the damage in the ball game with that home run. Nicole McFadden, head groundskeeper here for the Orioles, out between innings, talking to the crew chief, Jerry Lane. She told him 5 minutes and there'll be rain. Here's Francisco, and managers obviously are aware of that. They're told what's going on, and it affects how you, especially at this point, maneuver pitchers in a ball game. 0-1 count. Francisco, his 11th home run in that 2nd inning outside. Tommy Hunter appearing in the 3rd game against Toronto this year. He has given up a run on 4 hits and 2 innings worked. 1-1 delivery on the way, and a great pitch. 1-2.
Nice cutter there. Really great velocity he has on that cut fastball. 92 miles an hour. Look at the late movement there, dropping down and in. Of course, Tommy can rush it up there 97, 98, and to have it move like that at 92, pretty impressive.
Oh, another nasty pitch that he throttled back to 80 on.
A great breaking ball. Of course, one-time starter, got the full repertoire of pitches, and this is a nasty, nasty slider here. Hanging up on top, and look at the late finish, dropping down and in on the end.
Couple of quick outs. Defense getting aligned, and Navarro coming up. He is walked and grounded out. Navarro trying to take as much time as he can, let his pitcher stay on the bench a little longer with those 2 quick outs in the inning, and he'll take the pitch outside for a ball. Navarro hitting with 2 down and nobody on. He has a 2 for 5 off Tommy Hunter. There's the 1-0 delivery, and he'll take it for a strike. Four o'clock game tomorrow, 1:30 Sunday. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to go to center. Oh, what a stop! Hardy makes the play. That's the way to go to 7th inning stretch. Ball was stung, but Hardy made it look easy and records the out. 7th inning stretch time, 2-0 Jays. game 3 in this 4-game set. Bud Norris will take the mound against R.A. Dickey. Our coverage on Masson begins at 3:30 with those extra presented by Geico, followed by game coverage at 4 on Masson and WJZ. All the access you need right here on Masson.
Yeah, it should be a great matchup. R.A. Dickey, though, he had the 6 wins, a 4.20 earned run average last 3 starts, just going 5 innings. Bud Norris coming off a great start, 8 strong innings of work. That earned run average coming down 3.94. He's had 51 strikeouts to the 25 walks.
The wind has really picked up, blowing from right to left. Orioles bat, 7th inning. Hardy looking for his first home run of the year. Put it up in the air.
Yeah.
You'll get help. And the pitch inside for a ball. A single and he is flied out. J.J. Hardy. Boy, it is just ripping. The wind is. And that is taken for a strike, and it came out of nowhere. 1 ball, 1 strike count, and big lightning bolts. 1-1 delivery, and that ball down the line. It is a fair ball into the corner. Cabrera's throw not in time. Thunder and lightning all at once.
J.J. Hardy making some noise of his own. Ripping a double. See Navarro setting up away. This ball working itself back over the inner third. J.J. Hardy staying on it. Right down that left field line. Wheels Hardy cruising on into second base.
So the Orioles get the leadoff man on against Hutchison. 15 doubles for him. Manny Machado's already got 2 hits. He has a double and a single in the ball game. Hutchison's delivery to him, and that's going to go in the air to center, but not deep. Runner will tag. Man, the lightning is just all over the place here. Throw comes into third base. Hardy stays where he is. Machado's out of there, 1 down. And McGowan gets up in the bullpen. That's the first warm-up action we've seen. Many of the fans seeing those lightning bolts started to head underneath. We'll see if it passes by. Jonathan Scope gets the chance. 1 down. Hardy off second base. Scope same place. Goes. Hardy tags. They're going nowhere. Good throw into the cutoff man. So quickly after the double, 2 outs. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Be More for Healthy Babies. The Orioles have drawn 163 walks, $8,150. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Now the Orioles that lead off double but have not been able to move them around. Now here is Caleb Joseph. Here comes the rain. 2 down, and the pitch will be taken outside. Nicole doesn't want to be a head groundskeeper. We can get her a job as a weather person.
Yeah, she's on it, right?
Right on the money. Orioles 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And that's a strike. 44,031 on this Friday night. 44,031. Seeing a heck of a ball game with the Orioles batting here in the bottom of the 7th, down by 2. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and a strike on the outside corner. Looks as though that slider has gotten better as the game's gone along for Hutchison.
Yeah, I mean, he's had command of it. I think that's the most important thing. And right now, we're able to locate his fastball, a couple good ones on the outside corner. And his slider, he's got a couple different versions. He has a sweeping slider, and he's got one that acts more like a little cutter.
Will miss with that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Hardy waiting after picking up the leadoff double. Orioles have had the leadoff man on 3 out of 7. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Another one center field. Ghost is there. And he's got it. 3 putouts to center after the Hardy double. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. 7 complete. The crew chief, Jerry Lane, to put the tarp out on the field. There are thunderstorms all around. They've been around all day, and through this ball game we did not have any problem till we get right where we are. Now the rain's coming down. It's supposed to be hard, hopefully for a very short period of time. That's the case, and we'll be able to continue this ball game. But for now, yet another rain delay in what has been a week of rain delays for this ball club.
Yeah, it's been hard, I mean, on this team, trying to deal with all these rain delays, trying to come back up and down, but you know, it seems like they're used to it. They're playing some pretty good baseball here recently, and tonight just lacking the big hit. They've had a couple opportunities. They had the bases loaded once, and then the leadoff double to J.J. Hardy and 3 straight flyouts to center field. But Ubaldo keeping his team in the ball game. You know, he only gave up the 3 hits, but one of them, of course, that 2-run shot. So the timely hitting, getting the pitching, and have gotten it this week. But coming up with the big hit in this ball game, haven't been able to just yet.
And this could be an interesting decision depending on how long this lasts. Hutchinson, they had no warm-up action for Toronto. Hutchinson, their starter, was going along and really getting the job done. Now there will be the added question of not only about how many pitches he's thrown, but whether or not, depending on the length of the rain delay, you can bring him back into the game. And that may, I don't know, may favor the Orioles, may not, but it would be a change that probably wasn't going to be made.
Well, Hutchinson was very effective in this ball game. You know, they have a pretty good back end of their bullpen, and I think depending on the length of this is going to be, you know, the deciding factor on whether or not Hutchinson comes back out to pitch. But I would doubt that he would come back out. All
right, we've got a rain delay here as the bullpens are going to come in as well, so they expect it to be for a while. The Jays have a 2-0 lead. We're going to be going to the 8th inning when we get this ball game started up again. But for now, hope you enjoy the alternate programming. We will be back on the half hour to update you sooner if needed. Rain delay at Camden Yards. To the top of the 8th inning, the rain delay. Rain has stopped, tarps off the field. We're getting set to go. And just as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, after a Lowry walk, Juan Francisco gets on a fastball from Jimenez and hammers it out into the Orioles bullpen. Frustration there as the Blue Jays take the early 2-0 lead, and that's where the score still stands.
Tommy Hunter on in relief of Jimenez will come back out on the mound to work here. Jimenez went 6, 2 runs, 3 hits in 6 innings with 5 walks and 2 strikeouts. On the other side, Hutchison still officially in the ball game. He's given up nothing on the 6 hits the Orioles have put up. No walks, 3 strikeouts, and a hit batter for him. So Tommy Hunter will go to his 2nd inning and be working to 9, 1, and 2 in the order for the Jays. Orioles have had a couple of chances to get runs in the ball game. They have left 6 on base, and 5 of those have been in scoring position, including the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Orioles winning the opener of the 4-game set 4-2 last night, and trailing this one 2-0. Anthony Gose will lead it off as we go to the 8th. He has hit into a double play and drawn a walk and got caught stealing. Orioles defense put up some big plays in the ball game. Machado in at 3rd, and we are underway. Pitch will be taken away for a ball.
Yeah, there have been some great defensive plays, some really good pitching. Jimenez settled in and pitched the gem of the ball game. Of course, Hutchinson throwing a great game for the Blue Jays. Timely hitting, though, being able to come up with that big hit in this ball game, even though the Orioles out hitting the Jays.
And the pitch from Tommy Hunter will be taken inside. So he falls behind 3-0. McGowan was up and throwing before the rain delay. Still there. Here's the 3-0 delivery, taken for a strike. 21-minute rain delay. A real quick one. Hunter, the 3-1 delivery. Leadoff batter is going to be on. So Tommy Hunter surrenders the walk here in the 8th inning. That'll be the 6th walk collected in the ball game by the Jays, with 5 being given by Jimenez. Toronto coming in 6th in walks in the American League, upping their on-base percentage to 3rd best. Here is Reyes at the top of the order, 0 for 2. He has walked. 13-game hit streak not extended. Showed bunt, and the pitch will be taken up high.
You know they're going to try to do whatever they can to at least make a mark here, create a little bit of separation. Good speed at first base. Reyes knows how to handle the bat. Machado creeping in at 3rd.
Reyes does not have a sacrifice bunt this year. Runner not going, goes off the side of the mound, and Hunter. Jonathan Scope can't get it, and the runner's going to go to 3rd. Good heads-up base running by Gose, and what a strange play that was. Hunter went to get it, may have hit him, hit the mound. It was squiggling around when he got the Scope, and he couldn't pick it up cleanly.
Now Reyes taking this one, a little chopper. Tommy a good fielder, but I think the fact that Gose cut in front of Scope kind of took his eye off the ball. A little confusion there, everything coming together at once. Might have taken a little hop, then kicks out into the outfield, and Gose, the good heads up, gets his head on a swivel and heads on into 3rd base.
Boy, what a big play that is. An error will be charged on Jonathan Scope, allowing the base runner to move over to 3rd. So now 1st and 3rd and nobody out, and here is Melky Cabrera, and he will take the pitch for a strike. Toronto 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position, and what a big moment in the ball game this is. Reyes with a real good speed at 1st, and it will be fouled off, and Tommy Hunter will get ahead of Cabrera. First error committed in the ball game at a most untimely point for the Orioles. That was a tough play for Scope. He knew he had to rush to try and get the out at first base. 0-2 count. And that's going to go to the backstop. Runners coming. Ball squirts away, and the run will score. So Tommy Hunter on a wild pitch. That is his second of the season. Allows Ghost to come in, and Toronto's got a 3-0 lead.
Well, you see Caleb Joseph setting up away, 96 miles an hour, just yanks it off the left-hander batter's box. Would have been a great play if Caleb would have been able to come down with it, but couldn't even get a piece of leather on that one.
Now a runner at second base. 1-2 strike count at Cabrera. Boy, what a strange inning this is. And a ground ball to second. Scope short hops that one. Makes the play over to Davis. Cabrera, though, gets the runner over to third base. Reyes with only one away. Josh Stenson in the bullpen for the Orioles. And that will bring up Bautista. So after the rain delay, the walk to Ghost, the error, Jonathan Scope, wild pitch scored the run, moved the runner up. Cabrera on the ground ball out, and here's Bautista.
Orioles infield sucked in to try to cut this run down.
Bautista's only had 6 hits off Hunter in 30 at bats. 6 for 30. Oh for 2 and a walk in the game. Breaking ball. Did that ever come back in? Bautista was stepping away and leaning back.
Well, Tommy, a couple real good weapons. Of course, that live fastball, and that ball looked like it was headed up and in, and then it just dropped down and away.
Joseph able to stop that one. Runner stays at third. Two ball, 1 strike count. Lightning, thunder still around the area, but right now over the ballpark. If anything, just the lightest of mists coming down. Here's the 2-1 delivery by Hunter, and that's going to be inside. So Bautista gets ahead on the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. Bautista's had just 1 hit in the 2 games, 1 for 6. Off at third, Reyes. 3-1 delivery. Did he go? They check. He did. Bautista knew it, but the home plate umpire didn't call strike, so he held on to his bat.
Another good breaking ball here. This one in a big hitters count situation. Bautista gearing up. Oh yeah, he went for sure, but he was trying to sell it, throwing his bat towards the dugout.
Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and Bautista will bloop that one to center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Late start. Throw by Jones to the plate. Not in time. Runner going to second. Joseph throw, and not in time. A little off the mark. Shortstop side. And anything that can go wrong for the Orioles here in the 8th inning is Bautista will get a base hit and an RBI and move up on the throw to second base.
Yeah, jam shot here. Reyes goes back thinking that Jones is going to catch it. He's going back to tag, and I don't know if it caught Jones off guard or what, but rush the throw, goes up the line. Joseph comes up to cut it off and try to gun down Bautista, but too late. Bautista hustling into second.
So Buck Showalter is on his way out as 2 runs are in here in the 8th inning, and Tommy Hunter will be coming out of the ball game with a runner on at second base, and Lynn coming to the plate.
games this year with big club, 7.15 earned run average, 6 Ks and 6 walks in his 11 1/3 innings of work. 16 hits though, so got roughed up a little bit at the big league level. Down to the minor leagues, you see the numbers not much better. 0-3 record, 5.19 earned run average, 11 walks, 26 strikeouts though in his 26 innings of work. Really had a great spring training, and unfortunately couldn't carry it over into the season. So been up and down for Buck Showalter and the Orioles.
Runner on at second base and 1 out. And Lind up. He is single, 1 for 3. Adam Lind will take the pitch. It is down low for a ball. But Josh Stinson, he has appeared this season in 3 games against the Jays, working 4 innings. 8 runs and 10 hits. 1-0 count. Runner off second, and the pitch will be down low for a ball. 2-0. Well, Toronto trying to have a even bigger 8th inning. They've already put 2 across to extend their lead to 4-0. They're always trying to get to that 5-run differential. 2-0 delivery. That's going to go to second. Scope in the backhand makes a nice play. Gets it over to first. Runner goes to third, but there are 2 down.
A beautiful play right there by Jonathan Scope, keeping his focus after the tough error, saving a run, dropping down, and then taking his time, stepping up. See the concentration, kind of has to get a deep angle out there. It's behind the baseball. Good backhand, keeping that glove wide open, and gathers himself. Takes his time, makes the strong throw to first.
So now 2 down, a runner at third. Encarnacion coming up 0 for 3 in the game, 0 for his last 15, and about to be 16. Machado and Hardy. Machado wants it, and Manny will put it away for the out. So Stinson comes on to get a couple of outs, but 2 runs will score, and it's a 4-0 lead. To retransmit it in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. And the Orioles trailing in game 2 of this 4-game set by a score of 4-0. Hutchinson, the starter for the Jays, will leave with a chance to be the winner, looking for his 5th win.
Oh, did a nice job. Had command of all of his pitches. Showed a pretty explosive fastball. Worked 7 innings, 6 hits, nothing to show for it on the board. 3 strikeouts on the day. Brett Cecil now coming in. Last year an all-star for this club. A fine year, but struggling a little bit. That 3.55 earned run average, 35 strikeouts, 15 base on balls. Still pretty strong with the punch outs in 25 1/3 innings of work. Lefty's actually hitting better this year off Cecil, up to a 282 clip. Righty's down to 214.
Late inning defensive changes as Lowry moves from second to third, and Tollefson comes on to play at second base on your right, with Francisco coming out of the ballgame. So Brett Cecil ready to go. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Orioles get the top of the order. Markakis. Nick struck out, hit into a double play, and grounded out a couple of hits in 7 at bats in the first 2 games of this series. Brett Cecil out of Dunkirk, Maryland. Pitched at the University of Maryland, where he was the closer at the time he was drafted. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
And the Blue Jays converting him into a starter, and didn't have quite the success that they were hoping for. But I'll tell you what, when he made that switch over to his bullpen position, he has really thrived out there. I mentioned that he was an all-star last season. I mean, really became a big cog in this Toronto bullpen.
Markakis has seen a lot of him. 9 for 24 off the left-hander. 1 ball, 2 strike count. That'll turn him away. 2-2. Only 4 hits for the Jays, but they have made him count. In the 8th inning, 2 runs, 1 unearned. Coming in, first one scoring on a wild pitch, the other on the base hit by Bautista, and an error in between that set up the runs. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Markakis will chop it to first. It is a foul ball.
Well, what makes Cecil so tough out of the pen? I mean, he's got all the pitches. He's got the fastball that he can get. He pitches from 90 to 94 with. Got a good curveball. That's what Markakis just saw there. Hard cutter, a little bit of late life, and a changeup. He isn't afraid to use either one of those pitches. Mixes them up pretty consistently throughout an at bat.
2-2 delivery on the way, and another one inside. So the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Orioles need base runners. Trailing here by a score of 4-0. So many games on this homestand, seemingly one way or the other, have gone deep without the other team picking up a run. Red Sox series, of course, the 2 teams swapped shutouts. 3-2 delivery on the way, and Markakis goes down swinging.
After a steady dose of pitches inside, a couple of them rushing up and in, he dots a fastball down and away, and Markakis, that outer third, 94 miles an hour. Pretty good pitch.
That'll bring up Steve Pearce. Pearce has singled in 3 times to the plate. And that one lost control of it outside for a ball. Pearce this year against the lefties hitting .308. Even a little better against right-handers, .317. Big numbers for him. 1-0 delivery. Pearce will take it up high. Steve with a 1 for 3 in this ball game. Now in the month of June, he's had 7 hits in 17 at bats. As we are almost midway through the month. 2-0 delivery, and that's going to miss. So the count goes to 3-0 on Pearce with Jones on deck. .3-0 delivery. Pearce taking all the way. He'll be in there for a strike. Four o'clock ball game tomorrow. Game 3. 1:30 on Sunday. Showalter's Ball Club looking to make up ground against the Jays. 3-1 pitch and another base hit. So Pearce with a 2 for 4 ball game, a 1-out single in the 8th.
staying hot. Got his swing down.
That'll bring up Adam Jones. Adams had a base hit tonight. He is 1 for 3, 1 for 6 in the 2 games. Just under that 300 batting average, where he has stayed for the last month or so. Adam 3 for 23 off Cecil. You can tell by these numbers the Orioles have seen a lot of this left-hander. Cecil's 4th appearance against the Orioles this year. And the pitch in there for a strike. He blew a save in an earlier game against the O's. He's only worked 2 1/3 innings, and he's given up 4 runs on 2 hits. Walks, the big problem. 3 walks surrendered to the Orioles. Pierce off first, 1 down. Oh, 1 back into the screen at 94.
Pretty good pass right there, though, by Adam Jones. And he's been using the whole field here recently. We talked about his power. I mean, he's off to a great start here in June. The home runs the other way. Didn't try to do too much there. He backed that fastball up. Granted, it was 94 miles an hour, but he wasn't thinking about turning on that ball. He was thinking about driving it to right center.
0-2 delivery. That's going to be a base hit. Goes up with it. Pierce goes to second. So the Orioles doing what they need to do here in the 8th inning. 2 on and 1 out. And Adam with a 2 for 4 ball game.
Another good swing by Adam Jones. And both of these teams know how dangerous their offenses are. You give them too many opportunities, one of them is going to take advantage of it. We saw in that last inning. No, miscue, wild pitch led to a couple runs, a walk. And here the base on, or a couple base hits. And into the heart of this order.
Chris Davis with 1 away. 0 for 3 in the game, 0 for 7 in the 2 games. Davis will take it inside for a ball. 2 hits, 12 at bats, lifetime off Cecil. Bullpen action. McGowan, he's been up a good deal here in the latter part of the ball game. 1-0 delivery there for a strike. Chris has actually got a little better average, 242 against the lefties than the righties at 225. 4-0 Jays on top in the 8th. 2 on and 1 out. Modified shift with the base runners on. They don't send that second baseman deep into right field. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And foul back, 1-2.
Was Cecil hurt?
Came down in a hurry and down on his knee here.
Huh. Throws the breaking ball here.
He's coming out.
Yeah, tough to say exactly what it was. Maybe that left leg.
Don't think it was the arm. I think it was the lower body. Maybe a groin pull or a hammy.
Yeah.
So Cecil will come out of the game, and with the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Chris Davis, it'll be McGowan coming out of the bullpen in the middle of a count here. The Orioles have 2 on in the 8th. They are down 4-0.
record 409 earned run average, 50.23 innings of work. They've given up 51 hits, 30 strikeouts, 18 walks. Opponents hitting .262, lefties at .275, righties .247. Now, he started the season in the rotation and moved him out to the bullpen, where he's enjoyed a lot of success. Last year, all of his time spent in the bullpen, had a .245 earned run average, and this year really picking it up again. He's holding opponents to a .135 batting average in his 10 relief appearances since moving to that pen.
So McGowan warming up, and I think he wants a couple more. Navarro is talking to the home plate umpire, Mike DeMuro, because it was an injury that took Cecil out. He can warm up till he's ready. He was warming up, though, in the bullpen, and I guess see what Navarro's doing there, talking to Davis and to his pitcher. Looks like he's ready to go. So here's an unusual event. Chris Davis goes from a pitcher, Cecil, he was 2 for 12 against, to McGowan, who he's 2 for 5 against with a home run, all in the same at bat. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Runners off first and second base, 1 out. And Davis on the off-speed delivery foul tipped it, and it was held on to by Navarro.
Comes in ahead in the count and throws a nasty changeup. Look at that late fade there, 86 miles an hour. Turns it over. Davis thinks it's going to hold on to that outside corner. Boy, but it just disappears.
So that will bring up Cruz. Nelson Cruz struck out fielder's choice, and he's flied out. 2 on, 2 down. McGowan's pitch, that will be outside for a ball. Cruz a 2 for 9 off McGowan. He's had a home run against him. Orioles getting the singles by Pierce and Jones, who run away there on base.
You saw that last fastball at 96. He's got a power arm, 90 to 96 with the fastball. Also a pretty good slider, power slider. Throws it hard as well.
Even though the count was 1 and 2 on Davis, the strikeout goes to McGowan. Two-0 count. Cruz will take the pitch, and that's going to be down low. So the Orioles close to getting the potential tying run to the plate here in the 8th inning. With 2 on and 2 away, and Hardy waiting on deck. Cruz with a 3-0, and he's taking all the way, and it's in there for a strike. McGowan's actually had 2 starts against the Orioles this year. Mike was talking about back when he was starting, and one of them, he's 1-0 against the Orioles. 6 runs, 10 hits, 10 in the 3rd innings against the Orioles. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and Cruz will ground it towards short. Play's going to be at first, and got him. Encarnacion, they say, was on the bag. Wayne Kirby doesn't think so. Buck Showalter's coming out. The stretch made on the throw by Reyes, obviously a key moment. Was he on the bag when he caught it?
Tough to tell there. I mean, he was fighting to try to keep that back foot down. I think Reyes distracted with Adam Jones running down the line. There you see Adam Jones and Reyes right in line, stretching to the ball. Good job there, but
they're going to Buck's going to challenge it. So the first challenge we've had in the game. So they'll go to New York and see whether or not that's going to stand up.
See, a lot of first basemen, they dig in. They try to get their foot down on the inside part of the bag.
Very hard to tell whether he dragged his foot along the side of the bag or not.
Yeah, really hard.
So remember, the call was out. The evidence will have to show conclusively the call was wrong.
Saw Adam Jones running in second, stays tall. He might have distracted Reyes. The question is, did his toe hang on there as he was making that stretch? He responded like he didn't. Might be able to tell better from this angle here.
If you've got to have definitive evidence to overturn the call, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Fans are watching the replay on the board here.
Now, sometimes you look at a fielder, how they respond after the play, and when he came up, he was kind of looking to home, like to make a play. So he didn't have confidence that he kept his foot on there.
Buck Showalter saying today, he was talking about the reviews. He thinks that in the year to come, there'll be considerable expansion of the plays being reviewed. Is he on the bag, touching it?
Looks like he might have held it on.
Looks like he might have had it. Yeah, might have dragged the side of his shoe there. Here's the call. He's out. So a big review, and the call on the field holds. The Orioles, no runs, couple of hits will leave. 2 on base, 4-0 Jays. By Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. 4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick. 21-minute rain delay before going to the 8th inning. Stinson came on to get the final 2 outs in the 8th. Now we'll work here in the top of the 9th. Red Lowry will lead it off, and he takes it for a strike. He's drawn a walk and scored. Popped out, flied out. Juan Francisco, his 11th home run, 2nd inning, 2 RBIs after the walk to Lowry. And then 2 runs added in the 8th, 1 unearned. RBI base hit by Bautista. The other came on an error wild pitch. 1-1 delivery on the way. Lowry will take the pitch. It is down low, 2-1. Tollison and then Navarro will be due up here in the 9th inning for the Jays, who have the 4-0 lead. That'll be grounded to short. Hardy. Jays trying to end their 3-game losing streak. Orioles have won the last 2 coming into this one.
The Orioles have had some opportunities in this ball game, and we talked about just the lack of the timely hit.
Steve Tollison's going to get his first at bat. Oh, mercy. And a pick at first by Davis. Manny Machado. Tollison retired.
He's been flashed in the leather here in the last few ball games. Going to get beside that, create an angle on that bullet off the bat of Tollison. Makes that short hop pick look so easy. A casual pirouette, and on to Chris Davis.
And there are 2 quick outs here in the 9th inning. Good play at each end of that one. Navarro 0 for 2 and a walk. 2 down, nobody on. Mike talking about the chances for the Orioles. They're just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position in the ball game tonight, with the 8 left on base, 6 of those in scoring position. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Navarro, and that's a strike taken. Yankees, who are tied with the Orioles for second, continue their West Coast trip tonight. They're playing Oakland. In the air, right field, Markakis. He's got it in a 1-2-3 inning by Stinson. So we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Hardy will be leading it off. The Orioles down by 4.
The Orioles need to get a couple runs here.
They do. They've out-hit Toronto tonight 2-1, but they have not been able to put any runs on the board. Drew Hutchison, who pitches to almost a 9 ERA at home, has less than a 2 ERA on the road, and he has been hot tonight. 7 innings of shutout ball against the Orioles.
It's going to be interesting to see. Do or die bottom of the 9th inning. The Toronto Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead. Let's go back up for the bottom of the 9th to Gary and Mike.
Okay, Tom and Rick standing by to put a recap on this. We'll see what it looks like. Ubaldo Jimenez, the starter, could be the loser. He would end up with his 8th loss, would end up 2-8 if the Orioles cannot come back. And Hutchison, who made the start, that good one, could pick up his 5th win against 4 losses. In games started by Jimenez this year, the Orioles are 3-10 at the moment. So they try and get it done in the 9th inning. J.J. Hardy will lead it off, double single, and he is flied out.
Well, it's unfortunate because if they don't come back, Ubaldo pitched a really good game. I mean, he settled in and made some pitches like we like to see from him. You know, really aggressive in the zone.
It's those 5 walks and that big pitch count that comes so early. Took him out of the ball game after 6. 0-1 count on Hardy. The Orioles can get some base runners here against McGowan. That'll be fouled away. Hardy's got a 1 for 7 off McGowan. He got the final 2 outs in the 8th inning. Cecil worked a third of an inning. 2 hits, 2 and 1 strikeout. And a swing and a miss.
Aggressive with the fastball. Up by 4. Not wasting any time. You see the location. Everything on the outer third. And that 94-mile-an-hour heater rides to the top of the zone to get JJ.
Orioles have been shut out 5 times. Toronto has 8 shutouts already to their credit. Orioles, of course, exchanged had 1 shutout in that Boston game, 1-0. Pitch will be taken on the outside corner by Machado, a double single, and he is flied out. Oh, 1 delivery on the way. Machado's going to get another base hit. Single in front of Ghost. So Manny's got a 3-hit ball game. The Orioles have their 9th hit of the game.
A nice piece of hitting there by Manny. For a real good fastball taken for a strike. McGowan comes with the slider and he stays on it, driving it back through the middle.
Go to that Red Sox series. The Orioles won 4-0, lost 1-0, won 6-0. And now we've got another shutout ball game. 4-0 Jays at the moment. And the pitch taken for a strike. Jonathan Scope 0 for 3 fly ball outs. The 0-1 pitch, that'll be outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Delman Young on deck.
Now you see who Buck Showalter has on the bench. Ryan Flaherty, that lefty bat. David Lowe, left-handed. Hundley and Young, the righties.
Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Pitch with movement away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A good fastball. 94, 95 miles an hour, and you see the location there on the pitch track. Everything working away. Nothing on the plate.
Way outside. Good pick made by Navarro to hang on to that one. Orioles were shut out by Toronto in the first game they played against them this year back on April 11. It was a 2-0 ball game and McGowan was the winning pitcher. Ball will be fouled back. Here he's working out of the bullpen. He started, as we said, in that game and came away with his first win of the season in that 2-0 shutout of the Orioles. Two ball, 2 strike count. Manny Machado at first base, being held. McGowan with a 2-2 pitch. Has 3 strikeouts.
Now finishing off another Orioles hitter with the big fastball, 95 at the top of the zone. You need a little bit of a dip in your bat, and you're not going to be able to get on top of it. Scope just underneath the fastball.
So Delman Young delivered his 2nd home run of the season. First inning of the ball game last night. Runner will go, not being held. Machado takes it. Defensive indifference. Scored as a fielder's choice now. 1-0 count. There are 2 down. McGowan with a delivery. Young with 2 hits and 15 at bats off Dustin McGowan. Machado with the lead at second base, and here's the 2-0 delivery taken outside for a ball.
Take a look at Delman Young now. He has had huge numbers. And this is a changeup away and reaching out and getting it. Big shot and power.
3-0 delivery, and he's taking. It's a strike. 2 very big runs in that 8th inning put up by Toronto, 1 unearned on the Bautista single and the wild pitch that scored a run in the inning. Here's the 3-1, and that ball in the air right field. Bautista, foul territory with room, and that's the ball game. So Delman Young retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a base runner left on. The Orioles are shut out for the 6th time, and the 9th shutout for the Jays, who even the series at 1-1 as they win it 4-0. Game 3 will be coming up tomorrow. Bud Norris will take the mound against knuckleballer R.A. Dickey. Coverage on MASN 3:30. O's Extra presented by Geico, followed by game coverage at 4 on MASN and WJZ. This has been a MASN presentation. Tom and Rick standing by. O's Extra presented by PNC is coming up right now. From Mike Bordick and all of our crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. Adieu.